rest will be able to join.
Very good. All right, so we are live,
All right.
and it's good to see everyone here today. My name is Michael Williams. I am here today with Abdullah, Julius, and we'll be adding Pranav. Hello, Pranav, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I hope you can see me and hear me.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. Very. So, as always, it's wonderful to be here to have an opportunity to um, to have some conversation with one of our previous clients and students. And the reason that we're doing this is twofold. There are some other reasons as well, but two major reasons. One is we want to give you guys who are watching an opportunity to see, to hear from, and to actually speak with some of the Pro90d students and clients. Um, we have Dr. Wakas joining us. Wakas, how are you?
Hey, I'm well. How are you?
Good, good, good. Thank you. So, yes, so we want to give you guys an opportunity to see, to hear from, and to ask questions of our previous students and clients. We also want to give them an opportunity to come on and to share their thoughts, their reflections. It also gives them an opportunity to go live and to practice their speaking and their presentation skills. So these are the kinds of things that we do here at Pro90D. So I'm going to turn it over to Abdullah so that we can get started.
Thank you, Michael Williams. So what we will be doing is I will be asking some of our speakers a couple of questions, and they will be answering those questions. So first, we'll go with Julius, Mr. Julius. The question is, yes,
One, if everyone could mute themselves so we don't have background noise until it's your turn to speak. Um, and try to remember, and you'll have to remind me of this too, when it's your turn to speak, turn your mic on. If you don't, then one of us will be waving at you, okay?
okay.
All right, so I'll mute myself, and then Abdullah and Julius, you can leave your mics open.
Right on.
Great. Thank you, Michael. Yes, so Julius, the question is, why is Pro90d not focusing on trying to treat stuttering, but rather it's focused on trying to change it? Because people think that this speech program is trying to get rid of stuttering, but it's actually focused on trying to instead change it by focusing on smooth speech rather than on focusing on trying to remove getting stuck.
Thank you, Abdullah. A fantastic question to start off this live podcast. I'm Julius, by the way, everybody. And little quick background. I started Pro90D last year. This past April has been 1 year of completing the Pro90D system. It's been 1 year. And I've learned I have to continue doing this for a lifetime. Why? Because this is a holistic program. And this ties in right into this question is prior to Pro90D, I tried speech therapy. I tried to do things to cure my speech impediment. I tried to avoid situations that I knew in my head I was going to stammer and have blocks and it's just going to be a total mess. So prior to Pro90D, I tried to avoid, I tried to cure it, try to find a skill, try to find a strategy to treat it. Pro90D taught me we're not trying to focus on the speech impediment. We don't care about that. What we're trying to care about is how do we become an excellent speaker overall? How do you become an excellent public speaker? How do you become a master conversationalist? How do you make good presentations and go through that presentation with ease? When you distract yourself with the positive on how to become the best, the speech impediment just, I wouldn't say fixes, but just don't care about it anymore because now you're focusing on a bigger picture. There's a bigger goal here than just, oh, I want to treat this thing. So Pro 90-day system, as I said, it is holistic. What does that mean? You are literally training your mind, body, and your soul really through this program. Because yes, you learn skills, you learn how to use certain things that excellent speakers use, but it's not just the mechanics of it. It's the physiological and psychological level of it, the mindset. Because even with all the skills that you use, if you don't change your mindset, your identity, because we all have a speech identity, and our identity is I am a stutterer. That's what we all say. But the skills and trying to cure it, it's not going to work if you don't change your mentality of it first. So that is why the Pro 90-day system focuses on, all right, what do we have to do to become the best speaker? We have to find someone who inspires us to speak exactly like them. So to the viewers out there, I want you to think, in the past or right now, day to day, you guys probably have certain skills, certain activities that you do. You see people that inspire you, and you want to be just like them. Well, this is exactly what this is. You are training yourself mentally to be exactly like the speaker you want to be. And that is why it is way better to have a bigger goal to be the best than to, you know what, I just want to be a normal speaker. I just want to treat this thing and just be average. This system tells you there's no time to be average here. We are trying to be the best. So this is why I think Pro 90-day system is very important for people like us who are having trouble with our speech. And yeah, this is a holistic thing that you use and carry for the rest of your life.
Excellent, Julius. Thank you for that wonderful answer. And I'm sure that that answer has really helped a lot of people. So thank you once again, Julius. Yes. So now we'll move on to Wakas, Dr. Wakas, actually. And the question for you is, how has Pro 90D changed the way you think about your speech? How has this speech system changed the way how you view your speech, how you think about your speech as a whole?
Okay. So I think just like the prior speaker said, it's very important to have a purpose in life. And um, my speech journey has been pretty up and down. I think when I had initially met Michael, I was probably at my lowest point. And I've gone through years where my speech has been really good, and then sometimes it goes very bad. So I think on that day when I found Michael, I guess essentially was I was having a very bad day with my speech, and I just checked online, and I think his name was one of the first few that popped up. So I said, hey, let me check this out because I've tried speech therapy in the past, and usually it works for a certain amount of time, and then beyond that, it kind of loses its thing. So I found him, and then when he was talking about his system, where it's more a way of life, it's not really trying to cure something, it's trying to change how you view life, how you see things. Um, we all can say that when we're at our lowest point and we get stuck, we get very down on ourselves. And his system was more based on changing your mindset and changing who you are, because a lot of us view ourselves a certain way. Um, I think throughout my journey, it's been a pretty long one, but his system has taught me a lot of tips and tricks to kind of improve my speech. In the past, I would have problems saying my name or trying to introduce myself. Now, like, those are things I actually look forward to, because it gives me a sense of excitement that, hey, I can do this now. And I was actually just talking to a friend of mine about my whole journey, and he's like, "That's amazing, dude. Like, you've been through that much, and you're fine now." So it's a pretty big thing. I think um, like the one thing to take away from all of this, I think, is that his system provides you a sense of being positive about your speech, and that there is a way to fix this thing as well. Um, so I think like you basically get a path to fix it, and it's like a step-by-step approach. So that's kind of why I chose that.
Let me jump in, Abdullah. And you know what? And it's so funny. I actually just noticed this. All three of you guys who are here, Julius, we have a before and after with you, right? And thank you for letting us do that because not everyone is really. Wakas, Doctor Dr. Memon, uh, wow, you and I started working together a while back,
Yeah.
right? This is when you had just graduated medical school, right?
So I think at that time I was still in medical school.
You're,
But yeah,
yeah,
that's when we first met. Yeah.
when we first met. And I remember you told me that someone told you not to go into medicine because of your speech, right? Like, did they tell you
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
right?
There were a lot of people that doubted it. That hey, if you can't speak, how are you going to talk to patients? How are you going to do some stuff? But yeah,
Yeah.
here I am.
And and what you guys don't see now, and what some of you wouldn't believe. Now, okay, Abdullah is in medical school. Julius, you are a first responder, right? So you're actually in the medical. So that's kind of funny. But the other thing is, all three of you guys, I'm going to use this word. This is not the absolute appropriate word, but I'm just going to use it now. All three of you were severe. Like when you would make faces. I mean, you would struggle to get your speech out, and people watching this probably would like, yeah, well, they probably weren't that severe, or though they probably only did that. No, these guys will tell you that they really struggled, and while all of us still have this fluency, so you may see some of us blink our eyes now, or do a little something now, and totally fine. I'll take that because I think everyone here now we're pretty good speakers at this point, but we still may slip up every now and then. But these guys have come a long way. Wakas, Dr. Memon is now a doctor. Abdullah is on his way to becoming a doctor. Julius is already a first responder, and I'm sure he's taken his career to the next level. So what these guys are telling you here, I want you to really pay attention. They've come a long way. Um, and if you had just seen some of them before, you probably would not believe the transformation that they've made. And it's taken a lot of hard work, but it's worth it. I mean, look at where these guys are now. So I just want to jump in and say that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike Williams. And actually, this next question actually suits the mood. And the question is for me, actually, and it is, why is consistency the key to successful speech, right? Why is consistency the key to successful speech? So the reason how I am able to speak right now is because I was consistent for the past 1 year. Now, let me say that if you want to transform your speech, the most important thing that you need to do is you need to be consistent. You need to stick with the program, even if you're going through dips in the program. Because when you are in this speech system, you will find that sometimes you're speaking really well, but sometimes you may not be speaking as well. And that can actually frustrate you. So it's very important to stick with the program through its ups and through its downs as well. And you will be able to transform your speech if you remain consistent, if you stick with the program, if you follow all of the speaking exercises that is inside the program. It's very easy to do. It's very easy to follow. It is very well explained, and it's very structured as well. So if you follow the speaking exercises every day or so for the next couple of months, you will see a tremendous change in your speech. So it is very important to remain consistent with this program. Otherwise, you simply will not be able to see the results that you want to see. Now, also, you need to set realistic expectations as well. You need to set realistic expectations as well. If you have unrealistic expectations and you think that in a few weeks you will completely transform your speech, let me say, you will be sad because you will not see the full change if you set unrealistic expectations. Now, you will be able to see a large improvement in your speech. You will be able to speak a lot more smoothly and a lot more fluently, but you need to set realistic expectations as well. And so one of the ways of how people are not consistent is because they set unrealistic expectations and they don't meet those expectations. So as a result, they get quite frustrated, and then they don't work as hard, or they simply give up as a whole. So also the last reason as to why it's very important to remain consistent is because this speech program is creating a new habit. It is creating a new way of speaking, new way of thinking. And if you want to be able to do that, you have to be consistent in strengthening the new habit. So that's why it's very important to remain consistent, even if you don't see the results as quickly as you would like to. But if you remain consistent, I can almost guarantee that you will see the results in time. So yes, okay. So now the next question is for Mr. Julius. And Julius, how important is it to model, and why is it important to model? And also, if you could explain what is modeling as well to the people who simply don't know what that is.
Yes, of course. Thank you for that awesome question as well, Abdullah. I'll start off with what is modeling. To the people viewing this podcast, I want you to, I said this during the first question, I want you to recall a time in your life, either now or in the past, you were doing a certain skill, certain activity, and you wanted to get better at it. For me, it was I wanted to play the guitar. This was years ago. And I had a favorite guitarist, Jimmy Page. And I wanted to play just like him. I wanted to literally become him. I wanted to know what he did to practice, how he practiced. I wanted to mimic exactly how he did everything. And I thought to myself, wow, I was modeling somebody else. I was trying to be someone else. I was trying to take their style. Now, modeling is literally imitating somebody else in whatever skill or activity that you are doing, and you want to become that person, right? This is what happens through the Pro90d system. You find someone who speaks amazing, so good that you want to be just like him. You tell yourself, wow, I want to speak like this person. This is modeling. You start now to practice, to train yourself. You study that person, not just the way they talk, but the way they think, the way they carry themselves, the way they move their body, their hands, the facial expressions that they use. This is modeling. It's the same as just saying mimicking. You want to be that person, right? And this system, that's what it does. It teaches you how to model. It teaches you, not only how to, but how to sustain that for the rest of your life. And modeling is important to me because, prior to Pro90d, like I said during the first question, I tried to cure this thing. I tried to find tips and tricks to, not only avoid it, but to, suppress my speech impediment. I try to suppress it a lot. And suppression doesn't do anything, because when your guard's down, it comes back up again and you're back, at the beginning line where you were at. So when I first heard of modeling through the system, I, thought back and said, wait a minute, I've been modeling my whole life, with music and with the gym, with the training. I look and study guys who I want to be strong like, and everything else. I was looking back in my life. I said to myself, I was modeling my whole life and I didn't even know that I was doing it. So I said, wait a minute, why can't I do that with this? Our speech impediment gets so embedded in our minds, it becomes our identity. And to have a thought that you can even overcome this is hard to believe. You keep telling yourself, no way, there's no way that even if I find a model and I practice and I try to be like them, there's no way it's going to happen, because it's so crystallized in your head that this is your identity. But I told myself, no, 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 no. If I can model, other people in my life with these other skills that I achieved, I could certainly do it like this. Even if I was a crappy guitarist, if I was learning from someone, studying someone who was so good at it, my crappy guitar skills will eventually become not so crappy, right? So same thing with this. I told myself I have just a bad speech style. So I found someone. I actually modeled Michael Williams because of all the audio that I listened to and everything like that. It just seems like a perfect fit, and I wanted to speak exactly like him. So I started to do the blueprint. In this Pro90d system, there's a daily blueprint that you create step by step with the program, and you follow it to the T. And it teaches you how to model. And like I said, it's not just how someone speaks. You study how they think, how they feel, how would they feel, how do they move their body and everything. It's really holistic. So I started doing that, started really practicing modeling. I would really listen to his audios and sound exactly like him. And there's content in there on how to not only speak like somebody, but how to know, how to learn how they would think, how they would feel, when they are talking or carrying themselves throughout the day. It's really holistic. And it was something I've never experienced on this speech journey path prior to Pro90d. So the main thing with modeling is this is the number one thing to transform your speech identity. I brought that up a couple of moments ago. Our speech identity is so embedded in our heads. We literally think we are stutterers. For as long as I can remember, I used to tell myself, I am a stutterer. That's it. This is who I am. But modeling and through the Pro90d helped me change that identity. And it's not easy. It's not easy. Nothing successful comes easy. We all know this. And it comes with a lot of challenge, a lot of sacrifice. So I said, why not? Let's do this. And the more you do it, the more you model, the more you try to imitate your inspiration, you start to notice that you are getting their rhythm, their cadence. You start to sound like them, not with your voice, but you get their rhythm, their flow. But it's still you, though. It's still you talking, and eventually you create your own speaking style. And yeah, that is why I think modeling is the center core of this Pro90d system, because you are literally changing your identity. That is the number one thing you have to do, because the skills, strategies alone are not going to do anything for you. You need to change your mindset, and modeling does that. And I needed that to actually cross that line to success. So.
Excellent, Julius. Yes. The way how to model, that is in the center core of this speech system. And if you want to transform your speech in the fastest way possible, it will be through modeling. That is the way how you can transform your speech in the fastest way possible. So while some people are quite reluctant to model, just know that if you want to transform your speech, and if you want to be an excellent speaker, and if you want to have full control over your speech, the fastest way to do that is through modeling. And also through it, you will be speaking just like your model. And if he or she is an excellent speaker, then you will also be an excellent speaker, because you will copy the way they speak. So you will speak just like them. You will think the way how an excellent speaker thinks, and you will feel the way how they feel. So it is very important, and it is also one of the keys to really reach the next level of speech. So
let me jump in and just answer some questions that I think that people will have as they're watching this. Number one, does modeling change my complete identity in the sense that I'm not myself? Will I sound by myself? Will I sound like myself? Will I sound like this other person? So Julius already addressed this. I'm just going to emphasize and highlight a couple of things. In part, the purpose of modeling is to help you change your identity, that aspect of your identity that says, I am a stutterer and I tend to get stuck and I tend to do this. So yes, we do want to change that aspect of your identity, and that's why you want to model. It distracts you from yourself. However, what we're actually doing is helping you create a better version of yourself. So if you listen to Julius, Julius doesn't sound like me, he sounds like himself, right? Just like I sound like myself, but I modeled Brian Tracy. So think of it like this. Let's look at just a big chasm, just a huge valley, if you will. And think about techniques and tips and tricks, strategies, which are all good. They can all help. We use techniques, tips, tricks. But think about that as going down into this valley and then coming back out on the other side. It's a much longer, harder journey. A lot of people don't make it. They just stay in there, right? Modeling is a bridge that takes you over the valley as quickly and easily as possible. Yeah, there's a little work involved, but it gets you to the other side way faster, way easier than trying to do it yourself just using techniques. Modeling also, as Julie said, helps you change your speaking identity, which is very, very important. Techniques alone, strategies, tips, tricks alone will probably not work for you long term, but changing your speaking identity will work for you long term. And that's what's very important. So I just wanted to mention that we lost Abdullah, his internet. Okay, he's back. So let's get him back in there because I think he has our next question here. All right. Yes, I just want to say now a couple of other quick questions that people have. Do I have to model if I'm a female? Will modeling still work if I'm modeling a male? Yes. I have many female clients. Many of them still model me, but yes, you can model a female, but you don't have to. You can model a male. What about those people who speak a different language? Well, almost all of my clients speak multiple languages, right? Some of them only speak English when they're talking to me or when they're talking to the group. So it doesn't matter if you speak multiple languages. Even if you do it most of the time, you can still model someone in English, and most of the time it will transfer over into your language. However, we have very specific strategies you can use to translate and transfer the modeling style to your own language. So it doesn't matter what language you speak, as long as you can understand English and speak it enough, this system can still work for you. I think those are all the questions that I've heard over the years. All right, Abdullah, back to you.
Thank you. So, uh, Dr. Rakas, I have a very beautiful question for you, brother. And the question is, why should people invest in this speech program? Is it a smart investment to invest in themselves to better transform their speech? Is it a smart investment?
So I think whenever you're trying to make yourself better, it's obviously a smart investment. I'm more of a person of science, so whenever I'm trying to make an investment like this, I look into what's exactly happening and what science actually says about speech and such like that. Um, what we do know is that roughly 1% of the world has a speech impediment. No one knows the actual cause of it, but apparently there's a gene that codes for uh, your the pipe that you breathe from, and some people have this problem in this gene where whenever they get stressed out or if they're talking to someone that's above them, it causes their pipe to kind of close. And that's why some of us make that face. We try to gasp for air, etc. So um, a lot of people that have improved their speech, they learn how to relax this. They learn how to relax this pipe to help them breathe better and such. So, like I was talking about before, when I was looking into trying to help myself, I wanted to find something that had a science background that kind of explained it in that way, and um, that was kind of my main thing, where Michael's system is more of like a way of life, and it kind of has a step-by-step process. There's many books out there to change habits and such, and if you see, a lot of the core of those books talks about changing how you view things, and once you can change your mindset, you can pretty much accomplish anything. So I think this whole process overall, like you can't take a pill and just solve it. All right. It takes a lot of hard work, but you will see improvement. And without going into exactly what we have to do, you'll find one particular tip or trick that might help you more than others. So I think like a lot of people will ask like how much time it takes to get better. I think for me, I started seeing improvement within the first month. Um, and I still remember how that happened. I think I was buying some food from somewhere, and normally like I would have my mom or my dad place the order, and this time I said, hey, let me try what I've learned so far, and I was completely fluent. And that day I was over the moon. Like I was like, wow, this is a huge accomplishment, and you build off of that. So like I was saying before, like a you have a pathway, you have like step by step things to do, and they tend to help you a lot. But again, I think you do have to put in work. It's not something that gets fixed on its own. But I think having a plan is very important, and that's something that this helps with.
Excellent, because thank you so much for that answer. And yes, that leads me to the fourth or fifth question. Excuse me for that. That leads me to the fourth or fifth question, which is, does this system really work? So a lot of people that are watching this right now want to know, is Pro90d, does this system really work? And the answer is it depends. On what? It depends whether or not you are willing to put in the work in order to make it work for you. So you if you are consistent and you consistently make the work in, you will be able to find that this system does work for you. Now, the reason why this system works is because it is scientifically proven that it works, because it is based on forming new habits, right? To speak is a skill, and if you want to speak well, you just have to relearn how to speak. So if you relearn how to speak, if you create new habits, and if you strengthen those habits, well, look what? You'll be able to speak well, and you'll be able to speak effectively. How do I know this? Because I myself have been able to transform my speech using the speech system, right? I used to be quite severe. I used to avoid every speaking situation, even when I would speak to my own members of my family. I used to struggle a lot. Even when I used to speak with myself, I used to struggle a lot. And so by me implementing the strategies and the skills in the speech system, and also by me being very consistent, and by me making the work, I was able to see the results, because it's scientifically proven that you can overcome your speech issue by creating a new way of speaking. So yes, the speech system does really work, and you can see that all of the speakers here right now have struggled with their speech, and we were all quite severe with our speech as well. But this speech program transformed it. And so if it can transform our speech, then why can it not transform your speech? We are the same people, are we not? So you can also see the results as well, just like how we were able to see the results, and just like how thousands of people are able to see the results using this holistic speech program. And so with this,
Hey, let me jump in real
yes,
quick,
Mike,
just for
please.
just a quick commercial. Um, some of you will be able to see a little something going across the bottom, a banner, and I just wanted to mention what that is. This Saturday, we will be having a 90-minute workshop. So navigate to that location, that page, pro90d.com/90-minute-workshop-1. Go ahead and navigate. Sign up for this workshop, because we're going to be talking about some of the very, very specific techniques that you can use to experience immediate results. And everyone here has worked through the techniques that we'll be talking about in this workshop. So we can't teach you a whole bunch of stuff, but what we are going to teach you is I've boiled it down to the few things, the one or two things that you can use immediately and that you can begin to experience results from immediately, because it's only 90 minutes. And I want all of you who come to say, wow, yes, this really works. I'm experiencing this right now. So that's why I want to encourage you to come to this workshop this Saturday. Navigate to that link. I'm going to leave it up there and check that out. So thank you, Abdullah.
Thank you, Mark Williams, for that. So we do have a third speaker, and he will be joining soon, Michael. So maybe in the meantime, we can answer some questions from the audience.
Can't hear you, Michael.
Mr. Michael, you are on mute.
Can't hear you, Michael.
Okay. Thank you for reminding me. Um, does anyone out there have any specific questions for any of the panelists or for myself? And while, okay, so we have Justice coming in. Good. Let's see if we can bring Justice in. Hey, Justice, can you hear us?
I can hear y'all just fine.
All right. Very good. Very good. Let's see. Let's try to get your video back. Okay. So, Abdullah, did you have a question for Justice?
Yes, yes, I do. So, Justice Iquana, the question that I have for you is how has Pro90D impacted your speech socially and also quite professionally? So, how has Pro90D impacted your speech in those two regards?
Okay. So, I think that Pro90D has had a great impact on my speech, both socially and professionally. And I think the main reason why is because I just have much more confidence now. The program, it really teaches you how to shift your mind, because prior to enrolling in the Pro90D program, I always used to think negatively. When I would wake up in the morning, I would just think negatively and just think about the worst case scenarios in my potential speaking situations. So now, um, the, the Pro90 program teaches you how to shift your mind from thinking negatively to positively. So now, socially, in social situations, I'm much more inclined to take risks and and approach people. I'm much more inclined to just enter into speaking situations and to introduce myself and speak to colleagues that I wouldn't have done before. And I just think that I'm a much smoother speaker now. I've learned how to slow down. I've just learned how to relax and to keep my composure. So when I do speak, I just speak in a much smoother manner, and I am more articulate and am a better speaker now. And I think the same applies professionally as well. Um, I just graduated college, but I'm still working retail right now, and um, I'm no longer afraid to talk to talk to talk talk to managers and my bosses and things like that. A lot of times prior, in the past, if I had a question or if I was unsure of something, a lot of times I would just keep it to myself and I would just guess and just do it, and then I may do it wrong. But now I'm much more inclined to ask a manager something if I don't know how to do it. And I think that now that I am speaking better, I get taken much more seriously by my coworkers and my classmates and my managers. So I think that I have gotten in their good graces. So I'm much more able to showcase my talent now and my intelligence now. So I think that that's how it has helped me.
Let me I jump in and make a comment here, and then there's a question on the board. So Justice is another one of those guys where I do have a before and after of him. I worked with Justice for about a year while you were, this was actually during the pandemic, I think, maybe even before that, I'm not sure, right? And like the rest of these guys, Justice had, again, uh, what we would might call severe stutter, severe, like the faces and the body movements and stuff like that. And as you can see, while he's speaking now, he's quite smooth. I mean, a complete transformation from where he was before. So, and if you notice, there's a theme here that people talk about holistic and mindset. Now, there's a question on the board about breathing. Yes, we teach breathing. We teach you how to change your speaking style. So this is not just about affirmations and mindset and speaking identity. But if you hear what these guys are saying, they're saying that that's been the most important part for them. So what I want you to get when you're watching this is, yes, Pro90D has all the other stuff, all the physical stuff, the breathing, the speaking techniques and articulation and all of that. And it's designed to help you become an excellent speaker. However, the foundation and the most important part of Pro90D has to do with your mindset and your speaking identity. And that's what's really going to make the difference. So, yeah, we can give you a breathing technique, but alone, that's probably not going to be enough, right? It's a holistic system. So, but we do want to address this question. So if any of you have any thoughts, for example, Abdullah, there's this question here. Let me just pop in here and see if I can find it. Okay, right. So there's a question about breathing. Um, who wants to address this in any way that you would like? I'll just turn it over to Abdullah first, and then we'll go on from there. I will be popping out in about 5 minutes, and so I'll need to bow out. But go ahead, Abdullah. How would you answer this person in terms of breathing? And you're
Yes, I
muted.
was on mute. So the question is, what are some good breathing techniques when you get to a speech block? So when you get stuck on a word and you're speaking and you're trying to figure out what specific technique can you use in that moment to be able to say that word. Let me say, when you join the Pro90d speech system, you will have all of the specific techniques to use in the moment when you need it, right? But essentially, what you want to do is you want to know how to be able to speak with a rhythm, how to speak with a flow. Once you figure out how to speak with a rhythm, you won't need to use specific breathing techniques to be able to say any word, right? And the way how to speak with a rhythm where you are always maintaining smooth, consistent airflow, that comes when you create a new style of speaking, right? Once you create that, you will have a new rhythm in your speech where you'll be speaking with a flow and you will be flowing as you speak. You will then get to the point where you will not even think of the words as you are speaking. So you will speak without thinking about speaking. And so you won't even need to use any specific breathing technique in the moment. But in order to do that, all of these things are inside the Pro90d speech system, Michael.
Yes, thank you. So to add to that, we do have specific breathing techniques for you to use. There are some very, very specific things that you can use to help you in the moment, as well as keep this in mind. It's not just what you do in the moment that counts. Let me say this again. It's not just what you do in the moment. That's a technique. It's a tip. That's a trick in the moment. It's important, right? But it's what you do in all the moments leading up to that moment. So let me say that again because it's very, very important. It's not just what you do in the moment that counts, but it's what you do in all the moments leading up. So this is not just about using a technique in the moment to help you, because that will work sometimes and it won't work other times. It's about all the things that you do, your daily routine that you get in Pro90D, all the things you do every day that helps you perform better in all the moments that you find yourself in every day. Okay, so just wanted to say that. Thank you, Abdullah. Okay, I'm going to turn it back over to Abdullah, and like I said, I'm going to be leaving. So thank you guys, and I'll just bow out in a few minutes. But go ahead, Abdullah.
Sure, Michael. So I do have a question for Justice Iquana. And Justice, the question for you is why is it important to relax? What is the importance of relaxation? Why is it so important to relax if you want to speak smoothly and if you want to speak clearly and if you want to properly articulate your thoughts? Why is it important for you to be relaxed?
Yeah, so in my opinion, relaxation is the most important thing in order to um in order to create a new speaking style. Because if you don't know how to relax, then everything else that you practice or you do is just not going to work. And me myself, um, prior to enrolling in the program, I found it very hard to relax. I was always tense. My mind was always moving at a very fast pace. So because of my mind being at a fast pace, that's how I spoke as well. And I was very quick tempered, and it just
Hmm. So it seems that Justice has unfortunately lost his connection. He will be back shortly, though. Um, in the meantime, I will say that the reason why it is very important to relax is because if you are feeling
can you
very
hear me?
anxious and nervous, you will not be able to properly think. And if you're not able to think, you won't be able to focus on your new style of speaking. And now I'll shift this question back over to Justice. Yes, so Justice, you
Yes,
can continue.
thank you, Abdillah. I apologize, guys. Something happened with my connection, but yes, it is very important to relax because once you relax, then you're able to dissect everything. You aren't as anxious.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, Abdullah, why don't we go ahead and wrap it up, and perhaps Julius and Wakas, as I think Wakas has to also leave in a couple of minutes, right? So why don't we start with Wakas and see if there's any um, last words? Hate to use the word last words, but if there's anything that you want to share, and then we'll go around to Julius, and then uh, we can wrap it up that way. Okay.
Sure. So yeah, so I mean, like I was saying when I previously spoke, um, this is a great thing to have. We have a step-by-step approach to things. Um, if you take my example, I think I was very severe when I first started. I put in a lot of hard work to it. It took a lot of time to improve, but you do improve, and that's the main thing. And it's not like speech therapy where once you leave, you go back to the way you were prior. Instead, you have a step-by-step approach that keeps going beyond the time that you spend with Michael. And I can't say enough about it. There have been a few people that I've encountered in the hospital even who do get stuck on their words, and I've talked to them about this program actually. Yeah, I mean, I've had an amazing experience with this. It's helped me a lot. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Wakas. Let's move to Julius. Julius, any last encouraging words?
Yes, of course. Real quick, just want to tell everyone who's watching this, I have been there. I have been in that position where I was really hesitant on entering this program. I was thinking about the dollar sign. Oh, it was, a little expensive. And I didn't really have any faith. I didn't have any faith in, the program, anything like that, because for the past, yeah, I mean, I'm 30. So my whole life, I really just gave up on this whole speech, on the road to being a better speaker. And I really had no hope at all. And so I know what it feels like to be in this predicament where you're like, should I try this or should I not? Then I thought to myself, I don't want to be 80 years old and still have this speech, impediment, this bad speaking identity hovering over me like a dark cloud when I'm 80. I don't want to have that regret. I mean, just thinking about that and thinking I might, have that regret at that age scared me. And I'd rather take a chance and know, did it work or did it not work? And I took the time to learn about the science because this program is all about that science. It's science based. If the science sells you, if you believe in the science and you know that the program uses that science, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. You have to take the time to put in the time, put in the effort, put in the blood, sweat, and tears because this is not easy. It's not. You're changing a habit that you had for ever since you could remember. So it's going to be tough to change it. But if you believe in the science, and the science says that all habits can be changed, they all can be altered, they all can be rewritten on top of each other. So if you believe the science and you know that the program stands by that science, it doesn't matter how much it is because, like what our other speakers have said, if this is here to change your life for the better, and you want to change for the better, all investments with that in mind is a good investment. So it doesn't matter how much it is. Money comes and goes. It is what it is. And, Michael Williams has produced this incredible program. And for him to keep doing this, we have to obviously contribute because this is a skill that could and does save lives. Literally pulls people out of the darkness that they feel trapped in. And so I say you take the time, learn the science, and pull the trigger and go for it. What do you have to lose? Honestly, like I said, money comes and goes. Time, it's gonna run out. So do you want to live with regret, or you just want to, jump in, have some faith, and see where it takes you?
Okay, thank you, Julius, man. Appreciate that. Okay, Abdullah, and then we'll be gone.
Yes. So the last thing I would like to say is that if you want to see the full results of the speech program, you would need to have a strong desire to want to become an excellent speaker. If you simply just want to not get stuck anymore, let me say you will not be able to make the full transformation. You need to have a strong why. Your why needs to be strong. Why you want to work on your speech. That needs to be strong because throughout this speech journey, you will go through ups and you will go through a lot of downs. You will go through a lot of downs as well, right? So your why needs to be very important, and you also need to have a strong desire to want to become an excellent speaker. You need to, it's not so much that you want to speak well, it's so much so that you need to speak well, right? And to be quite honest, if you to be quite honest, for you to completely transform your speech, you would actually need to be an excellent speaker. And you would have to put in the same work as compared to even if you did not want to get stuck anymore. So the same work is required. So why not go all the way, right? Why not go all the way and become an excellent speaker to where you can start to impact and persuade and change people's lives with your speech. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you so much, Abdullah. Thank you, Julius, Dr. Wakas, Justice, who's here, and Pranav, who wasn't able to stay with us. We'll be back. We'll do these again once, twice a month, on average, twice a month. And so we look forward to having you guys inside the system. Check out our website, pro90d.com. If you want something more immediate, come work with me live this Saturday. I've already put the website there, and I'll also put it in the description, right, in the description of this YouTube video. So thank you so much, guys. We look forward to seeing you again. May you all be blessed.
See you
Okay.
everyone. Bye.